How's it going? It's Dr. Chris again, and I have in my hands the Breathe Belt or Breath Belt, however you would like to pronounce it. So this is not just a normal lumbar support belt like whatever everybody else may think it is. I do wear this in the gym and working out. I do work this with patients during their rehab. So what this does is it teaches us and everybody else, patients, people who work out in the gym, how to actually not only just breathe normally using correct diaphragmatic breathing, but also activate their core. So let me backtrack a little bit. When I normally train patients on how to activate their core, there's two different methods. The first method is, you may have heard me say this many times, 3 steps, activating the core. But the first part is getting their abdominal muscles to contract as if they're closing 2 doors. Next is contracting your glutes, squeezing together, all not too tight that you can't have a conversation. And of course, the lower back muscles pushing outward this direction here, to almost like you're bearing down. Although that may be complicated, the shortcut method too is getting your 2 hands on your abdomen, squeezing in, and then also activating your muscles to push out with your hands too. For the most part, most people may have an issue with that, and that's what makes it difficult, being able to do self-cueing or tactile cueing. So we're going to use a tactile sense developed by Jesse Ollinger, who created the Breath Belt. What this does, it helps with the tactile sense and cue in terms of truly using the diaphragmatic breathing. So when I normally teach or train folks how to breathe, so normal people or most people like to chest breathe. That's a normal thing. The problem is when you do this repetitively over and over again, you run the chance of straining your neck, straining your shoulders, also straining your intercostal pain or ribs too, or the muscles. So how do we breathe? How do we get more oxygen in our body? Well, we do diaphragmatic breathing. And we're using this as more of a tactile cue and sense. So we inhale, inflating the stomach, and exhale out, deflating the stomach fully. Then we get the second layer of the Breathe Belt. So from here, as I inhale, my whole stomach or transverse abdominis is pushing outward into the belt. That already gives me a good cue. So now if we like the full activation, we do the same thing. We inhale, exhale out, inhale again, and we add the last and second layer, and then we do the same thing. Pushing, as I inhale, I'm pushing my abdomen and everything else in my core outward into the belt. That actually starts up firing up the whole core muscle. So now, although I'm breathing now, I'm actually, as I'm pushing out to the belt, I could do a lot of different things or exercises. So for example, a person who's rehabilitating with their lower back issue and getting a core development, this alone, while marching in place or walking for even like say 3 to 5 minutes, is a good or a great way to rehabilitate also. Okay? For guys like me who might be more progressive, I may use this, let's say, doing a deadlift or doing a landmine coil press or doing any other type of physical activity for a short period of time. I wouldn't recommend wearing this the whole entire time because, yes, it can be really exhausting. But over time, just like anything else, as you train your core system, you start developing the endurance and the stability structure of it too. That's the nice part about it. Now, the next thing I'd like to show you is that with that alone, when it also does a great way in terms of doing any type of self-care or self-myofascial release into a key area of our muscle system, which are our psoas. I know I've mentioned that many, many times. And the psoas muscle itself, which is embedded under your abdomen, another important core muscle structure, sometimes can be a big culprit into your lower back pain. Because why? If it's tight and it's shortened, it's also weak. It creates that issue of that lumbar antilordosis, and it creates a lot of lockness into your pelvis itself. So what do? A lot of times we do ART on it and stretch just to release it. But for a lot of patients or a lot of folks who want to do self-care, they can use the Breathe Belt in that purpose too. How? Well, just the same way as I apply it, we apply, we apply 2 lacrosse balls, 2 on each side. If you'll notice there's 2 slots, I'll show you in a second. That alone gets right into the psoas muscle. As I breathe in again and apply it again, and breathe in, boom, it gets right onto the psoas muscle. So now, not just in my only activating my core and training it, but as I'm breathing out and pushing my stomach into the belt itself, I can walk. This is actually working a lot in the psoas muscles too for self-release. So it's a great way to do it too. I wouldn't recommend doing it for 5 minutes, but certainly a 1 minute alone could be a great thing. Okay. But again, I'm going to show you too that there are built-in slots or chambers for those balls right in here. So you can actually squeeze it in. So, put in short, the breathe belt or the breath belt helps you train in diaphragmatic breathing, helps you activate your core. And yes, because of that alone, that can actually work as a lumbar suppellant for our lower back issues, which we have our patients do. So if you do have any questions or are interested about it, you could certainly check out the link below and direct message Jesse himself who created this, or you can even contact our office as we do offer this to a lot of our patients too and train them too. All right, so stick around, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.